This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works, with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
And good morning, everyone. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge here, back on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. Now, it's been a while since I've been on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. It actually has been I would say around 11 days since the last time I was on the podcast. It's mainly because all of last week I was off Monday, Tuesday, and then Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones took a little bit of a vacation for his birthday. So I was working the evenings for him for the 4, 5, 6, and 10 from Wednesday through Friday. And I worked through the weekend, and here I am back on the podcast with you guys once again here. But today I have a pretty interesting topic for you guys. 1 week ago today, there was actually a dust storm that happened over in portions of Phoenix, Arizona. And the characterization or the word for that dust storm is called a haboob. And later on in this episode, we'll be talking about what that actually is and how it's caused and how it affects people, as well as how you can stay safe from it, depending on if you encounter a haboob or if you don't, if you know anyone that may encounter a haboob. Here's a look at the topics for today. We're also going to be talking about the local forecast. We've been dealing with mostly dry conditions out there, and I keep saying mostly dry conditions because of the chance for rain remains low. It remains low throughout. It will remain low throughout our weekend, and it's going to remain low throughout our Labor Day today. And also, happy Labor Day, everyone. I forgot to say that to start out here. But, yes, happy Labor Day, everyone, and welcome on to the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. We're going to start you guys off with a live look at downtown Shreveport. As of right now, we're looking at mostly sunny conditions here in the immediate Shreveport and Bossier area. And as you can see in the distance, you could definitely see some cloud cover there of portions just to the north of us. This camera is pointing north. So areas north of us are definitely seeing mostly cloudy conditions out overhead, over top of their heads here in the skies. But it's pleasant conditions here at the surface here around the Shreveport and Bossier area. As you can see with First Alert Doppler radar, we are looking at mostly cloudy conditions across the area as well, and a few isolated showers up there in areas north of Texarkana. Those showers have pretty much been there all morning long since I came in this morning, and they will slowly dissipate as we move towards the midday hours here. And as you can see, mostly dry conditions are in place, are present right now across the midsections of the region, with the exception of maybe an isolated shower or two over in East Texas that I am seeing right now. But that's just a very, very, very brief shower that's being picked up by radar. Here's a look at temperatures right now. We're sitting in the 80s here in Shreveport and a couple areas around the Arklatex. Maybe one area still in the 60s right now, upper 60s, 69 degrees near DeQueen. That's mainly because of the showers that just went on up there. 76 by Texarkana, 82 here in Shreveport, 81 by Natchitoches, 81 also for Minden, 81 for Florine. It looks being around the mid and upper 70s for most areas in our East Texas portions of the Arklatex. And as you can see, looking at feels like temperatures, we are feeling some slight humidity out there around the Arklatex with feels like temperatures 3 degrees higher than actual temperatures here near Shreveport and a couple degrees higher in areas around the region, more areas around the region here. We're feeling like the lower 80s for most areas around I-20 and southward within East Texas. So they're seeing some slight humidity as well. Natchitoches is also seeing some slight humidity with feels like temperatures a couple degrees higher than actual temperatures. But here's a look at our forecast headlines through the rest of this work week here. We have not one, but two cool-downs on the way for us as we move throughout this week. One of them arrives by midweek, and the other one is going to be a more effective one. It's going to actually lower temperatures here around the Arklatex or decrease highs into the 80s as we move towards this weekend. But we are going to see a bit of a warm-up before that happens here in the region. We're expecting dry and mostly comfortable conditions as we move through the start of this new week with a chance for showers and storms. The weak cold front moves through by middle of this week, and the more effective cold front moves through later on this week into our weekend. Here's a look at our next 5 hours here in the Arklatex. This forecast shows low rain chances and mostly cloudy conditions out there around the Arklatex here. Temperatures will be rising into those upper 80s just after the lunch hour, and into the lower 90s we go as we head towards our Monday afternoon here. We're going to be seeing mostly dry conditions through the day today. Here's a look at future track. We're not expecting much to go on around the Arklatex, but isolated showers and storms are possible, more than likely in East Texas as compared to everywhere else around the Arklatex. And if it does happen around the areas around I-49, most areas west of I-49 will see the higher rain chances, as I should say here. But as we move towards the evening hours, everything should pretty much clear out across the region. And heading into early tomorrow morning, we could see an isolated shower or two begin to develop. Heading towards the afternoon hours, a cold front will slowly make its way through the Arklatex here. And as we move towards the overnight hours and spilling over into the morning hours of our Wednesday, that's where that cold front is expected to move through. It's supposed to be a weak one here, bringing about isolated showers and storms along the front as it moves down to the south and eastern portions of the Arklatex. And here's its last gasp with that humid air finally moving out of the Arklatex here. But heading into our Wednesday, this cold front is actually going to knock out rain chances through the rest of the work week here. And as we move through our Thursday and Friday, little to no rain is expected, as mentioned before. Here's a look at our rain chances for the next 48 hours, only rising to around 10 to 20%, especially through today. A bit higher rain chances for areas to the west of I-49, as mentioned before. As we move towards our Tuesday, rain chances look to be a bit more likely for not per se more likely. I would say rain chances will rise slightly higher as we move into our Tuesday afternoon. We're not expecting much rain on the way, as mentioned before, but we could see isolated showers and storms begin to develop across the region heading into our Tuesday afternoon. And we may see some along the cold front that will be pushing through Tuesday night into our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at rain chances for the next 5 days. Only 10 to 20% as mentioned before, but we could see little to no rain on the way for our midweek through the end of the week. But here's a look at what this second cold front is expected to bring. Expected to bring temperatures that are 10 degrees or 20 degrees below the average as we move towards this weekend here. This is the outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. So temperatures are near or below the average for areas up in the Great Lakes region. They're expected to, those temperatures are expected to decrease even farther into the below average range heading into this weekend. And for us here in the Arklatex, near Shreveport, as you can see on the southern portions of the country, we're not expecting much of a change as compared to what we will see or what we saw for this past weekend. We saw highs in the 80s, mid and upper 80s across the region, but we're expecting very similar conditions to that, maybe a tad bit cooler as we move into this weekend as well as the following work week here. But for the next 8 to 14 days, this goes into our next work week. We could see a warm up once again, which will cause temperatures to be forecast or on the forecast. They are expected to rise back up near or above the average. Here for Shreveport and Bossier, we're going to be trending slightly above the average for this time of year. So we're expecting cooler conditions for this weekend, but those warmer than average conditions are expected to return here in the Arklatex as we move through much of the following or next work week. Not this one, but the next one. We are expecting our temperature trend to pretty much be fluctuating around the near or below average temperatures. 91 for our Tuesday, 90 by Wednesday. That's mainly due to the cold front knocking highs down maybe a degree or two heading into Wednesday, but we could see southerly flow return, allowing temperatures to potentially reach above the average heading into our Thursday and Friday, or at least for Friday, more than likely reaching above average temperatures, and we could see some higher humidity as well. But as we move into our Sunday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of the next work week, we could see temperatures drop to the mid and upper 80s across the region. Some areas not even getting out of the lower 80s out there across the area. So definitely some cooler conditions on the way. Something to definitely be excited to see or hear about. It's definitely a false fall is what people may call it. False fall meaning that fall like conditions have come early. We're still in the summer season here. We're actually around 21 days away from the first day of fall. And I actually have a graphic on that I haven't used this morning. So, but I'm just realizing, I'm just talking out loud. But 21 days away from fall, and we're experiencing fall-like conditions here around the Arctic. We're going to see fall-like conditions here around the Arctic once again. We've already seen it for this past weekend with mostly cloudy skies and highs in the 80s. We're expecting to see that again heading into our next weekend, this upcoming weekend that we have here. But moving myself off the screen and talking about tropics here. An area which is also denoted as a tropical wave, denoted by that orange X there, has moved off the coastlines of West Africa. It's expected to move into a more conducive environment for development. It has a 40% chance of formation within the next 7 days, and not much of a chance within the next 2 days ahead. So 0% within the next 2 days. 7 days ahead, we could very well see, we have a medium chance of seeing a tropical system form out there in that Atlantic range, part of the Atlantic. But it's expected to make, if it does rise or strengthen into a tropical system, it may take a very similar path as Hurricane Aaron did, which would come very close to the islands of these islands over here, the Leeward Islands, I believe is what they're called. It may make a track towards the Leeward Islands and then curve off to the north, just like Aaron did, not too far away from where the east coast lines of the Atlantic are, or the eastern coast of the United States. So it may take a very similar track as Aaron, as mentioned before, but we'll have to continue to watch it very closely as it continues to potentially increase or decrease. We'll watch that very closely as we move closer in time to when this potential system forms into a tropical storm. Here's our 7-day forecast. Labor Day, we're expecting little to no rain on the way. So if you have any plans, you're in luck in terms of what we can expect through the rest of today. Not much rain ahead, but make sure to keep an umbrella handy just in case you receive an isolated shower or two heading into our Tuesday. Same deal. We may see rain chances lower, even or get even lower than 20%. We may not see much of a coverage of rain as we move into our Tuesday, but no rain is expected heading into our Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this work week as temperatures make their way towards the average for this time of year and slightly above the average in some spots. And we could definitely see below average temperatures once again heading into this weekend as the major cold front finally makes it into the Arctic by this weekend and into next week. Now, getting on to our topic of the day, we'll be back in around 2 minutes to talk about what is a haboob and where it actually had occurred. It actually, I teased it earlier in this show or this episode. It happened in Phoenix, Arizona around a week ago today. We're going to be looking at some pictures and videos of people that took videos of this haboob that happened, or this dust storm that happened, and we're going to be talking about the processes of why it occurred, coming up in just around 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. So, what is a haboob? I know has a very interesting name out there, and it may have caught some of you all's attention about how it's named or the exact name it has. It's derived from an Arabian word called it's Arabian word which is hab or Habb. I believe it's how it's spelled, and it means wind. It stands for wind. And yes, that's what the word is derived from, and it basically describes a dust storm that is found or that is caused by thunderstorm outflow. So here are the details or characteristics of a haboob. So the definition for a haboob is a massive wall of dust and sand caused by downdrafts from thunderstorms. So when a thunderstorm is formed, it's formed by rising air. Warm air rises and cools and condenses into water droplets and or clouds. And if the clouds have enough moisture, the moisture falls from the clouds as rain. And in some cases, if the warmer air rises pretty fast here, we can get bigger clouds and taller clouds that promote storm clouds out there. It's more common in desert-like areas or desert-like climates like the southwestern United States or North Africa or the Arabian Peninsula, which is pretty much where the name came from. And it's also prominent or popular in central Australia. It is more common in central Australia, and it could actually strike within very little warning. So thunderstorm, it actually forms when thunderstorm downdrafts. So what I was getting at here, rising air causes thunderstorms to form, but how a thunderstorm it pretty much dies out is when the air that's in the cloud, it starts to return back to the surface. It's called a downdraft. So when downdrafts form, that pretty much collapses the thunderstorm. That's when the thunderstorm is collapsing. It's losing its energy. When the downdraft hits the ground, the air spreads out. It's like the wind is up here in the cloud, and then it drops to the ground, and once it hits the surface, it spreads out. And when it spreads out, that's what the exact picture looks like when at the surface, when the dust is pretty much picked up by the updrafts or the downdrafts, excuse me. Downdraft hits the ground, and it starts to spread out across the ground. So it's like it's splatting. It's like if you take a water balloon and drop it to the ground, you know how it like splats. It pretty much becomes flat on the ground. It doesn't come back up, but it pretty much goes on the ground and it keeps on spreading out and out and out. And that's what causes a haboob or a dust storm that spreads and pretty much lowers visibility by a lot, to the point where in some cases, in some severe cases, it could lower visibility to where you can't even see your hand out in front of you to a few feet, maybe a foot or two. So that's the most severe case here. But in a second, we'll be watching some videos that actually happened just 1 week ago today over in Phoenix, Arizona. Here's some safety tips. If you know anyone that has experienced a haboob or or lives in an area that could experience a dust storm like this, it's if you're driving, make sure to pull over and stop completely. Make sure to secure your car to the ground by using that emergency brake, or put it in park or use the emergency brake, because within these dust storms is some high winds. It's the downdrafts pretty much pushing out all the dust and all the sand, and it's promoting very high winds. So make sure to roll your windows up also, so dust doesn't enter your car or enter your eyes. Make sure to stay in your car and try to wait it out as much as possible. If you can't wait it out, make sure to go as slow as possible. It's much preferred if you stop the car and just don't move for as long as the haboob is in your area. But if you're at home, let's say you're at home, make sure to secure all the outdoor items to the ground, because it's windy outside. Things can blow over. Make sure to seek indoor shelter after that. Then to close all openings. That means all doors. That means all trap doors. That means all windows. That means all like ceiling enclosures, anything. Any opening that's to the outside of your home or shelter, make sure to close it shut. And it's also beneficial to turn off your HVAC systems, turn off the AC, turn off the heat that it may be on, because wind from the outside could enter your AC unit and it could blow dust right into your house. So It's definitely beneficial to turn off the HVAC systems. If you're outdoors, let's say you're outdoors, you're not at home, or you're not anywhere near a car or your car, make sure to seek immediate shelter anywhere that you can find. Make sure to cover your face if you cannot seek shelter or find any shelter immediately before the dust storm reaches your area. Protect your eyes and make sure to stay low to the ground as well. So those are the safety tips that you should know if you ever encounter a haboob. I know it's extremely rare, and I don't think it ever happened here in Louisiana, but it's more likely in deserted-like areas like Arizona, maybe Nevada, and the southwestern United States. And it's more common within the monsoon season. So monsoons is a whole nother topic where it's pretty much a typical summer pattern that I've been talking about, or Evan or Matt has been talking about, where the afternoon storm chances, that's pretty much a monsoon season. It runs from mid-June to late September for those in the southwestern corner of the United States. It's where the land is actually heating up faster than the ocean is, so warm air rises faster on land. That cool air that comes from the ocean moves onto the land, and it rises with that warmer air, cools and condenses, and it actually brings more moisture, and that's what causes heavy rainfall. And that may be the reason that's a good beneficial reason for why the floodings happened in Texas a couple of months ago as well. It's because of the rise of the occurrence of the monsoon season here. But let's take a look at some videos and pictures of what actually happened. This is courtesy of our sister station, or our gray station over in Phoenix, Arizona. I believe it's WLVT, I believe. Or K, no, it's not W, it's KPHO in Phoenix, Arizona. So here's one of the videos. This is from Dave. This is from my observation desk, East Apache Junction near Golden Canyon. This is a video that he took of the haboob moving into his area. And it's definitely a pretty scary sight, especially if you do not know what to do. And those storms can get very, very tall in the air, but it's best to always remain calm whenever you're encountering these types of storms here. Especially, look at this picture here. This is a pretty funny one. He should be rolling up his windows pretty soon here, or else he's gonna get a bunch of dust in his car. But here's what it looks like inside of a haboob. Wow. That's basically what it looks like. The visibility is very low. This is not one of the severe cases of a haboob, but he can definitely see out to maybe around a half a mile away from him. So definitely reduced visibility for sure. And that's the incoming dust storm towards where he took the picture from. This is another vantage point from the haboob there, right, and it's a pretty cool looking scene as a meteorologist, but it may not be so cool looking for the people that have encountered this occurrence here. Yeah, let's look at some more pictures here from, okay, this is a bit of a spam there. Okay, this is drone footage. This is even more cool here. Look at this, guys. It's drone footage of the haboob. It's it's pretty long videos, around 40 minutes, but it's pretty much a slow-mo of what's pretty much coming into the Phoenix, Arizona area. It's pretty tall clouds there, and a lot of dust moving in as a result of the thunderstorm that had just collapsed and caused the haboob to caused dust to rise and create a haboob. Once again, this occurred in the afternoon on August 25th, Monday, August 25th in Phoenix, Arizona. It occurred around 3 p.m. And as you can see, it reduced visibility. It cut off most of the light. It turned on the street lights out there for those that were in the area. Definitely some pretty cool thing to experience for sure. I'm not sure if I want to experience this, but as you can see, it was moving pretty quickly across those areas. According to this video here. But let's take a quick look at a couple more. This is another vantage point of the haboob. Dust storm approaching Santan Valley, August 25th. This is another vantage point of somebody near hitting Queen Creek in Ironwood. Monsoon storm blast. I don't believe that's a video of it, is it? Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, so this is within the dust storm. So it's very windy out there. Very windy. Not sure if he should be outside during this moment, but so it goes against the safety tips, of course, but it's definitely pretty interesting to see. See if there's any more. Yeah, this is another picture from Mesa, Arizona at around 5:14 p.m. Darkened the sky a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much what a haboob is. That's all the videos that I'm gonna show you guys here. But that's pretty much what the topic was for today. It was about haboobs, and even though it has a very weird name, it has a very cool looking structure of pretty much the downdraft of thunderstorms, and that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to be probably more than likely I'll be back on the podcast by Friday talking to you about Friday night football and the forecast for the many different games that may be going on around the Arklatex. I hope you guys are excited for football finally being back. I'm excited myself. But make sure to have a great rest of your day. Make sure to have a great rest of your Labor Day. Enjoy the holiday. If you're off today, props to you. But yes, make sure to enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. Make sure to stay dry. If you have an isolated shower too, make sure to stay prepared by keeping that umbrella handy. And I will be back on the KSLA News 12 at noon. Be off for the rest of the day, and I'll be back on the noon and 4 p.m. shows as we move into our Tuesday. So once again, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode. Meteorologist Evan Thomason will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. I will more likely be back on by Friday. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to today's episode, and have a great rest of your Labor Day.